Good afternoon and welcome to today's session on sales management challenges and solution for MSMEs by United SMEs, sponsored by Blackbox Synosoft Technologies Private Limited. I am Prasanna, co-host of the event today. Let me introduce today's presenter, Mr. Jay Desai and Mr. Vishal Shah. Mr. Jay is an alumnus of IIT Bombay and NIMS Mumbai. He has vast experience of working with top electronics and retail brands like HP, Panasonic, LG Electronics, Reliance Retail, and Onida, to name a few. He brings in 2 decades of expertise in business development, business operations, sales, marketing, inventory management, cash flow management, team management, leadership, and team building. Mr. Vishal Shah is CEO and co-founder of Synosoft Technologies. He is known as seasoned technology stalwart, an inventor of specific patented technologies, a writer, a serial entrepreneur, an investor, and importantly, a go-to guy for MSMEs. This webinar is meant for SME owners and managers. It will cover insightful discussion on sales management challenges in MSME setup by experienced entrepreneurs who have overcome the challenges and taken the sales process to the next level. If you have any question while you watch this demonstration, kindly write in the question and answer tab in the bottom of your Zoom login. The panel will take up the question at the end of the session. Alternatively, in case you want to ask any question in the end of the session, you may please raise your hand and we shall activate your microphone to ask the question. Vishal sir, can you please take it ahead from here?
Yeah, thank you very much, Prasanna, for a generous introduction and welcome Jai on United SME platform. You have already been here with a very insightful topic, and we had, again, it was like once more by most of our members. So, we are organizing this, last a session which you had taken on very specific challenges faced by MSMEs was taken very well, and there was a good takeaway for most of our members. So let me introduce today's topic. It is about challenges faced by MSMEs in sales management. For MSME, sales is mostly the one what is always done by the owners. MSMEs have a very good delegated production, accounts, and everything, but yes, sales is mostly led by the owners. So this is something which is very, very relevant topic for MSME owners. So we have designed this particular content, and we thought that it would be useful. And Jai has vast experience on designing sales processes, managing sales processes, even designing feedback processes for the sales reviews and MIS. So we thought that he is an ideal person to talk about it and enlighten all of us. So we have planned today's session in basically 5 parts. First we will identify, certain very prominent changes in recent times. In last 5 years, we have got GST, we have gone through COVID. A lot of changes have happened in business environment, and every enterprise or organization or MSME has to respond to those changes. So we'll start with what kind of responses we have to be ready, what kind of responses towards this change in the business environment. Then we will talk about very specific MSME challenges, in sales management. Then we will try to derive an ideal approach, which can be useful for any kind of industrial vertical to design a sales process. And then we will visualize, using that particular approach, what would be the ideal sales process. And once we understand the ideal sales process, we will try to find out, action points for most of the owners, if they want to really and seriously design this kind of sales process and implement in their organization, how they would, take it and what kind of action points they will take up. And at the end, we will discuss one actual case study for everyone's understanding, and we will try to understand whatever we have discussed during the webinar, how it fits with the actual realistic, business situation and case study. So this is how we have planned this entire session. And I request Prasanna to launch the poll so that we can understand the profile of the audience, and Joy can actually adapt, entire discussion after understanding that particular profile. Yeah, so this profile poll is out, and we can see that 42% of our gathering today are enterprise owners, CEOs, and directors of the company. 27% of the group is sales professional, and 4% are marketing professionals, and 27% are general management professionals. So I think, Jay, we have got very, very good, relevant crowd out here, and it is going to be an interesting session. I'm 100% sure. So let us start with what kind of changes are we have observed in our business environment, which every MSME has to respond, with a view to sales processes. So over to you, Jay.
Thank you, Mr. Vishal, and I thank UnitedSME for having me here and share my experiences which are there from MSME segment, especially on how sales and marketing are happening. And I extend a very warm welcome to the participants who have joined in time. Very interesting mix, as you said, Mr. Vishal. Today, the participants are there, which are most of them 42% are from the top management or owner of the company, and another 27-30% are there from the sales background. So it will be very interesting, and I'll definitely enjoy sharing my views here with them. We start by discussing the changes which have come in the market and the environment. Post-COVID, the buyer-supplier relationship has changed a lot. So India, as we know, is a relationship-based market traditionally. And here the personal touch and keeping in touch with them, meeting them regularly has been of perennial importance in sales. And you know that entire business is happening based on relationships. But the dynamics of these relationships have drastically changed after COVID period, where we were not able to meet and greet each other physically. So with the digital technologies like the one which we are using right now have evolved so much, and they have completely changed the dynamic. So people are now, people were in fact a little bit skeptical and resistive in meeting personally. In that scenario, a lot of people adapted to the newer technologies and they started keeping connected with the client. So buyer-supply relationship have changed a lot, and I would like to discuss this point along with another point, which is the post-GST scenario. So GST introduction in India has broken the physical barriers in the market and the geographical barriers. So put together the outburst of digital technologies and ways to communicate digitally and social media. Along with that, the GST has completely changed the way we were buying and consuming the products. And suddenly, right from one city in a state, to all India has become the market for both buyers and sellers, and somebody having a business a few thousand kilometers away has started selling to people who are in the other end of the country. So this is one thing. Another thing, how people consumed information about the company, their products and all, they have also changed a lot. So earlier the physical brochures, catalogs and travel of the document and all, they were there, and they were bulky bags were being carried by the sales team to the market and to the targeted customers. It has completely changed to e-brochures, PDFs, and a lot of material being shared on WhatsApp is a very communicating medium, very convenient medium for everybody to do business and communication. So another important part, which is the communication, has become very, very fast due to this particular thing. Blurring line between line of demarcation between the marketing management. So earlier when we talk about marketing, either we talked about a newspaper ad, or we talked about, for larger companies, we talk about TV commercials to talk about our products. For industrial products and manufacturing companies into machine manufacturing and all those things, there were the industry trade shows, so they used to participate in that. And the sales team used to gather leads from there and go to the prospects and pitch their products, to give the demonstration, call them for the samples and all, and then do the selling. So this was the earlier cycle. Now with the outburst and with the penetration of social media marketing and the digital space, there is a thin line between sales and marketing, which is blurring now. So people are able to put up their business on a lot of trade lead generating platforms. From there, leads are getting generated. People are giving a lot of webinars like this, and people are giving a lot of online demonstrations. So there are some manufacturing companies who are setting up trial and demonstration machines, attach a camera, and do a live streaming of their machines and products to a community who can be their target customer. So this is a very big change which has come, and it has also brought with it challenges as well as benefits to the sales teams. Now, as I explained, the lead generation cycle earlier was manual, which has now become digital, and a lot of automation in lead generation is happening. So nowadays, a lot of softwares are available wherein you can, the leads which you have generated on social media or the lead generating platforms, you can directly transfer into the CRM, and then it can be assigned to the sales team. So a lot of automation has happened in that particular area. So little bit of awareness has started coming to the MSME segment on the lead management part. The lead generation part, as I said, participation in trade shows, marketing, those activities have been taking place for a long time. But the focus on managing these leads, following up on them, and then increasing the conversion from a particular amount which you have spent on the marketing activity or lead generation activity. So slowly and steadily, focus on this particular aspect is coming, and automation is helping in a big way in those segments. So then the question comes to the sales team on the adaptability by them on this kind of tools and coping up with the doing sales and marketing digitally. This is one important area. Post-COVID, the focus of the customers have increased on this particular aspect a lot, because in the COVID period, people had time, so they did research on the options, and then they also did a little bit of introspecting on the way they are doing business and the way they are using and consuming the products from their suppliers. So one important area which I believe is in focus today is to pay a little bit extra and get that service and get that assurance from the manufacturer or a supplier or a trader on particular product, on its quality, on its features, and all those things. So it puts one more area into the salesperson's bucket, that he has to keep pace with the demands of giving service to the customers also. So here I would like to call upon for one more poll. Okay, can you please run the poll here?
Yeah, by the time everyone is going through this poll, there is a request from Mr. Vikram Thakur. I think he's unable to hear you, probably your voice. So if you can just come either closer or you can slightly be
Sure.
allowed if possible.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so poll results are out, and we did this poll to understand what kind of business environment change, the group wants to respond. So 50% of the group members are, of the opinion that they are and they have to respond to COVID-19 supplier-buyer relationship change. 10% to the post GST. I think GST has been now around since a long time, so most of the people have already responded, and that's the reason only 10% are responding or want to respond. Then 35%, believe that there is a blurring line between sales and marketing management, which is a big change in business environment. And one has to now sales guy is doing marketing, marketing guy is doing sales, and a lot of content is also cannot be really differentiated for marketing or sales. Then 55% of the group believes that new generation automated lead generation is something they have to respond to. Yes, now there are so many AI, artificial intelligence based companies who can find out the leads from LinkedIn, and they can do email campaign and WhatsApp campaign and whatnot. So it's a very, very good automation which is very efficient, and sometimes it is effective. It depends how AI is and machine learning is. But yes, that is a change one has to respond. 35% of the people, they believe that a digitization of customer relationship management has to be responded to, and continuous customer service oriented innovations have to be in place. That is the belief of 35%. Nowadays, even online reputation is also very important. Now if you want to go to a new customer, that new customer is going to check your online reputation also. So all these things are the business environment change we have to respond. So now what would be in this, given this business change, given these changes in the business environment, what are the specific challenges you think that MSMEs have to take on, so let's understand that from you.
Yeah, Mr. Vishal. So as it is obvious that any big change or a small change it comes with challenges, especially those early adopters who can predict and envisage this change, prepare themselves to cope with them and better respond to these changes. But larger mass of people, majority of the industries and businesses, they need their own time to understand these changes and understand how they have to work differently to do sales for their companies. So especially we can discuss this in the light of MSME industry, and first and foremost is the owner-driven sales, especially companies which are old in the market, established many years back, when they were the maybe startups, or they were the ones who launched or introduced a particular product to a market, and from there to today's changing time, one factor is the owner-driven sales. This factor has worked fantastically for them in the past and brought phenomenal growth to their company and made them what they are today. So it is very difficult for them to understand whether this is inhibiting their business or they should still continue with them. And by this time, over the period of years, it has more of become a habit of the organization and the culture of the organization. Here, I want to discuss these 2 points together: owner in the market, team in the office. So it may sound a bit humorous, but it is actually a metaphor, by which what I want to convey is owner spending more time on day-to-day sales related activities rather than the sales team. That is the point number 1. Point number 2 is it is the owner's equity which brings in sales and which keeps on bringing adequate orders for the company to run from the market. Third thing is the legacy of the company. So legacy of the company is so strong. Their old buyers are so loyal to them that though they can see new age companies and new age products in the market, but somehow they stick to this comfort zone of buying from the same organization. So in this particular thing, overall load on owner is much higher, and the contribution of owner in the sales is to the tune of even more than 50 to 60%. So this puts a major inhibition on their growth when they want to scale up, because there is a limitation, because owner has to also see a lot of aspects of business like finance, accounting, products, banking, lot of things, and lot of burden is there on the owner. So when you are pretty occupied with the generating sales and you have a tension of doing monthly targets, then it definitely eats into your growth and puts you on a slow burner for the future growth. Competence level of sales team, which is another challenge today because of this drastic change which has come in post-COVID time. And we can see that in 2 years, almost entire world has changed. Those who did not know how to, operate a mobile beyond WhatsApp are now doing Zoom calls and doing meetings and all. So this is the level at which people have adopted to the technology. And this is not related to only business. People are doing their social meetings and family gatherings across countries and all, and throwing karaoke singing parties, and a lot of things people are doing on WhatsApp group calls and Zoom calls and all. So this is a big adaptation which has happened in our society and in our lives. Now, for the sales team to adapt this and change their way they were doing sales is a bit of a challenge, because it is their work area, it is not their personal area. So this is the psychological aspect. Second thing, the sales team was hired at a particular few years back or sometimes back with a particular skill set and requirements of the company, and those skill sets were relevant at that point of time. With the changing period of time, they need to be taught a different kind of skill sets, and they need to be open and adaptive and ready to learn a few new things so that they can compete with the existing environment. And that is why major mindset problem is coming when it comes to the sales team. Most of the trainings, when they are imparted on them, they remain like a classroom discussion. And when the case comes to applying in the real-time market or day-to-day scenario, almost not more than 5 to 10% of what they learn in the classroom, they go and apply in the market. So this is a very big challenge for business owners when it comes to competence level of the sales team. So there are a few companies who are aware that the sales team has to be trained time to time. They are trying to make an effort to train them, but as per our observation, this is the scenario in the market. Then unstructured data of prospects and customers. So like you rightly pointed out, Mr. Vishal, a lot of AI-based softwares and a lot of technology available today, which can bring in the leads from whichever source you generate, and then they compile, and then they put it and then they classify it in such a manner that working on those leads and following up and then updating them becomes very, very easy. But what is the challenge here is the habit of not working in this particular organized fashion when it comes to lead management within the company. So they have a fragmented data and a perception based data in their mind for their customers. So which customers are giving me more business? This is my good customer. This is my not so good customer, because this person always gives me order when I need. So these kind of perceptions, they are driving the sales team's behavior. Then this is a very big problem in our country, and in this segment, lack of accountability in work culture. We are more emotional even towards our work, and our loyalty. We talk about loyalty towards our owner and all those things, which are fine. We are loyal to our organization. We are loyal to working with the to the owner with whom we are working. But accountability is something which now is driving new age organizations and even the large corporates to grow to the next level. Now, what accountability means? Accountability means that what I'm supposed to do, I will be doing it without any reminder, and I'll be doing it till the completion of the job, and I will be doing it till the time I achieve the results. So this is the sort of definition of accountability. So for example, if somebody is given a target of say 10 lakh rupees a month, accountable salesperson, what they will do, and they will try to, not only exceed the particular target, but he will also see that collection is made in time. He will also see that customers are properly kept in the loop. He will also see that he is working on the future pipeline so that his future target will be met. So this is a understanding of accountability, and this kind of accountable culture is found sometimes and many a times missing in many organizations, because of which either there is a hire and fire kind of a policy and very high attrition rate, or people are working with the organization for very long time without learning new skills and adapting to the new ways of doing sales. In both the cases, the company suffers. Absence of sales process. So when we talk about accountability, an entire organization has to function in a particular manner, and especially the sales department. Absence of sales process, what happens is that sometimes or some months the sales team performs very good when the market supports, and when the market doesn't support, economy is little bit down, and they need to put an extra effort, grab the share from the competitor and do their target rolling. That is the time when they face the challenge, because they have not done the basics which are required to be done. Now, when we talk about sales process, we are talking about a set of and an order of activities which generate sales, rather than we are talking about the numbers of sales figures or target achievement and all. And there is a huge, vast difference between them. So, a robust sales process, what it will do? It ensures that every day there is a focus on those activities which generate sales, and the achievement or the turnover will be the byproduct of this particular process. So when we talk about this, and when we talk about people in MSME, even the owners are quite a little bit skeptical of talking about systems and processes, and think that it is for the large corporates. It is not for smaller organizations, or my team will not be able to adapt it, and so on and so forth. But let me tell you that a simple sales process does wonder for an organization. And one of the most aspect is lack of review mechanism, or I would say lack of an objectively set review mechanism. This is a very, very powerful tool and often found missing in the MSME sector. I'll talk about review mechanism more in the coming slides. So it's time for a quick poll once again. Can you please run the poll?
Yeah, so poll results are out, and I think competence level of the sales team and inability to establish the accountability is the biggest concern most of the attendees have expressed. Then 55% of them, of course, they are saying that absence of sales process is something which bothers them. 38% have also expressed that inability to get insights from the customers and sales data. A lot of AI and analytics is available for large companies, not for MSMEs right now, but yes, it is the future. And 34% of the attendees, they have expressed that, it is difficult to delegate sales responsibilities to the team. So I think we are right on the target. Basically, yes, process is the key to scale up, and anything which is driven by process, can free their people for more creative work. So basically, let's understand this from Joy. What should be the ideal approach? Now see, we have attendees from various industry verticals, so we have to give them one a kind of multi-purpose approach, which can help them derive the sales process vis-a-vis their own challenges, vis-a-vis their own sales activities. So can we plan an ideal approach which can be used for designing the sales process? And of course, then we will look at the sales process. Yeah, over to you.
Yes, Mr. Vishal. So I would like to talk about that particular point number 1 from the poll, which is lack of delegation to the sales team. And I want to introduce a word here which is called fear of unknown. And this fear of unknown runs through all the challenges which we have just discussed in the previous slides. So we keep this word fear of unknown in our minds, and then whatever we are going to discuss in this slide, just keep reminding yourself about that particular word, because it's a very major reason why we are not able to do or not able to bring a lot of changes which are required. Basic market research. So over the period of time, an organization, when it becomes successful, becomes popular with the customers, and people like their products and services, have faith in the owners and the brand, and show a lot of loyalty towards them, and they travel on the growth path on the product life cycle. So that is the time when an organization generally becomes an internal looking organization. So they start looking themselves toward what they did last year versus how much they did this year, how much growth has happened, how much profit they have made, or how much loss they have incurred, and so on and so forth. So basically, it becomes an internal looking organization. And when they want to strive for growth, they want to take that next big leap, that is a time then that inhibits their growth, because many a times they are not looking beyond what they are doing. So a sense of the total market size, or sense of how much is lying in the sea and how much water I'm actually trying to drink. So that approach goes missing, and especially with the sales team. So basic market research is what that you do, kind of intelligence method, talking to the industry people, how much is happening in the industry, how other or bigger players than you are doing, and all, and then you come out with the figure that okay, my product has so much of the size of the market. On secondary side, now a lot of information is available on the platforms, and a lot of information is easily available through articles and other forms of case studies and all, by means of which you can actually, and a lot of companies are doing research and throwing data for open public also now, which gives you an idea of actual market size. So what is the market size? Market size is the total number of units, or the total value revenue which is generated by all the players in the market, or total number of products purchased by a customer in the country, and so on and so forth in the states or the city and all. So a sense of a total market size is very, very much required for an owner to decide that at what pace I need to grow in next 5 years and what pace I have not grown, which was possible in last 3 years or so. Another important part is identification of target market. So many a times we are doing good in one particular market. It is our comfort zone. We keep getting orders from there, and then we overlook other important markets which are potential, because we may have to invest a penny or two extra in those markets, and we think that when I'm doing good, I'm running orders from here. Why should I need to invest in that market? And we don't tap that. So a systematic approach to identification of target market, then whatever market I'm present in and whatever markets are there which are not being tapped potential to up to the potential by me, and then making a plan or business plan in the light of this factor. Prospect profiling. So here I want to introduce another word which is called database decision making, and this particular thing I have found missing as my observation, or not completely missing, but not exploited to its potential and strength. The power of database decision making is huge and enormous. So when it comes to business planning, we do a thorough business planning. If we go into the little bit of data, we study our own data, and then we come out with our 1 year or 2 year or 3 years of business plan. But prospect profiling, so our data tells us, one is the perception, interaction of sales team with your customers interaction with you in terms of how timely they are paying or not paying. All those factors create a perception in the mind of owner as well as sales team on my target customer and how is the customer. Whereas we do a prospect profiling and we analyze the data, then it will tell us that which industry, what type of customer and what size of customer is consuming which product or service from our portfolio. And then when you compare it with the margin that you earn from each customer, then that is the beauty of prospect profiling. And then you can say that, okay, these are the set of customers which are good to me, which are profitable for me, and how do I find some 100 numbers of more customers like this so that my organization grows. And then you put that in the light of the target market as well as the market size. So that is how you will come to know that this is the kind of growth I need to target. When we talk about growth, there are lots and lots of strategies, but two different strategies. One, we recently discussed that have you tapped market which is untapped by you and your competitors are doing business, so which is a geographical expansion, as well as in the existing market, how much we have penetrated. Now, when you go with this plan to your sales team, the previous idea of going to the new market will be very easily adopted by them. But when you talk about penetrating deep into the existing market with the existing product, they will start telling you that itna hi market hai, and our competitor is only selling this much, we know. So we are the top 3 brands and we are selling, so where is the other market? And lots and other thousands of I would say excuses only, which are thrown by sales team to the owner to defend the size of and the potential of the market in which we are already present. So one very strong strategy is penetration. Penetration means that how many customers are present in the market. So if you are a manufacturer and selling through a channel, your customers are the dealers or the distributors or the other traders. If you are a direct to customer company or a service company, then a kind of a prospect profiling and how many such companies are there in the market, and out of which how many are giving me business and how many are dealing with my competitors. So this simple analysis will tell you what is your penetration in the market. The more you increase your penetration, your market share goes, that is point number 1. But it makes very much easy for you to acquire bigger customers, because larger chunk of the market will be talking about your product, your services, and your strength and your account management and all those things. So when even at a cost of, I say, little bit compromising of the margin, if you can gain penetration or if you can gain share, it will ensure a sustainable growth for the company in the long run. So this is a very powerful approach to sales management. Business planning. So in this, the first 4 factors, then it will bring you to planning the business. So here also a lot of deep diving is required. So segment wise, geography wise, area wise, city wise, sales person wise, robust business planning. one major area which has to be focused here is the market size. So every market, every city, so owner has to focus that if my total plan is to do 50 crore this year, and if I have already broken down it into the different cities, in 20 cities across India, then looking at the cities, their potential, and asking a question that have I set enough target for this particular geography or this particular city so that I can get my growth. And that will tell you that no, you should not plan for 50 crores, you should actually plan for 55 crores. So this kind of and very detailed approach can be taken for planning the business. This we have already discussed, current turnover versus the potential of market. So always ask yourself, if this is the cake, what is the pie that I am eating and how much is left over which I can grab and eat. If you want to do or achieve all these things, and for more things which we are going to talk in the next slide, important aspect is to set a particular roles and responsibilities and key performance areas for your team so that your business objectives are 100% aligned with the day-to-day activity that they will be doing. We'll talk about more in the case study about it. Technology adoption, we have already discussed that lots and lots of, and this particular topic requires a complete webinar, that what kind of technologies are available today which you can very easily adopt in your business. Simple ERP, simple cloud management software, simple CRMs, which can, by means of which you can easily track the activities of the sales team and then track the productivity of the team, as well as the database decision making which we asked for. So here I would request to run a poll again.
So we have interesting poll results. So I think 44% of the attendees believe that basic market research and estimation of market size, they can improve on it. 59%, think that, they can have better, well-charted business plan to, have better sales management. 37% think that technology adoption has a scope to improve their sales management, and 67% KRA KPI of the sales team, they think that whatever they are doing, there is a scope of improvement. Yeah, it is very insightful. Yes. If we are not able to hold people accountable about what we are paying to them and what they are doing, it is definitely a concern. Yeah. So can we have a look at an ideal sales process, using this particular approach, So I think that would be the best, understanding if we can derive using this approach an ideal sales process.
Yeah, Mr. Vishal. And indeed, that poll was very insightful for me. Now, one would think that whatever factors we have discussed in the previous slide, okay, the same factors applies to the ideal sales process. I would add with this point here, estimation of sales team required. And this is a point where most of it, we are not immune to this, anybody. So this is a mistake which is done by anybody. It can be done by anybody. A lot of people are making this mistake. So estimation of sales team. So current business, when the business is running, and I will bring in the point from the second slide, that owner's involvement in generating sales. So because owner is so much involved in generating sales, and whatever sales team that they have in the company who are doing the rest of the sales, which is not done by the owner. So owner thinks that, okay, this team is always sufficient, and I don't need extra team, or maybe I can hire one manpower extra or two manpower extra. So if we have our business planning process, if we have our targets outlined for each and every geography, each and every market, that from this market I must extract this much of volume, and then if we equate our sales team to the geography that we want to cater, again there is one more factor, that the sales generating cycle. Once you approach a customer, so in B2B products or manufacturing, for example, if somebody is manufacturing machines for the industry or food processing machines or those kind of products, versus somebody manufacturing headphones or these boxy products. So the sales generating cycle for these two are very, very different. Here you can just go to a distributor and maybe bill 1,000 products, and after 30 days you collect a payment. There you have to give a demonstration, you have to do the negotiation, you have to do a technical discussion with their team. So sales generating cycle is very, very long. So here the time which a salesperson has to spend with their customer in order to generate orders or in order to make the leads matured is one factor which we have to consider in estimation of the sales team required, along with the geography that which we want to properly cater to. And once we do that and we remove the factor of owner's involvement in generally business, because owner is supposed to do business expansion, owner is supposed to focus on how to deliver better profits to the organization stakeholders, and a lot of other things, technology adaptation, making the compliances, and a lot of things owners can do. So once the owner is removed from sales generating process and we work on these two factors, then we actually come to know the sales team which is required for my organization. One more point I want to discuss here, how we are doing the recruitment. So generally, I have observed that recruitments are happening on the basis of salary that we want to give for a particular position, and not on the basis of the skill set which is required for a particular job. So then we end up doing wrong hiring, and wrong hiring and wrong estimation of sales team required is creating lot of problems for us. Once we have put up decided how much the sales team is required and we have recruited the sales team, then division of company targets among the sales team. Again, that factor comes that we have seen a lot of times that if we put the total of the target of entire sales team, it will be only 70% of the company's business plan. And so rest 30% automatically comes on the shoulders of the owner, because they have to run the organization. So this is, so you have done the business planning proper, but it is not properly divided between the sales team. Fixing the roles and responsibilities. So if I wake up in the morning and somebody asks me that what is the responsibility of a sales team, I would say his responsibility is to generate sales. But when we break it down into the activities that generate sales, so going to the market, meeting a particular set of customers in a day, so that so many customers are met in the month, and out of which if we put a probability that how much percentage will be converted to sales, and then that is how my sales realization will be. Putting up the display in the market, doing the accounting, bringing the money back which we have for the sales which you have done, and so many activities are there, and there is an entire list we can make. So fixing of the roles and responsibilities is very, very critical for the success of the company. Daily, weekly, and monthly documentation of those activities, that whether they have done those activities on daily, weekly, and monthly basis, and based on that, they review, and they must be reminded that these activities must be performed. So here we are going to the point where we said that we are not focusing on the number, we are focusing on the activities which will generate that number. KRA, KPI, and productivity. Mr. Vishal, you draw a very good point that when we are paying salary to a person, the salary, the person actually at least whatever least what he can done or she can do for the organization is delivering the worth of the salary that they are doing. So there are ratios for larger companies, ratios for the smaller companies of on a salary of ₹1,00,000 paid to as a part of the sales team. How much business has to be generated? So that depends on the industry and case to case it varies. But these are the parameters on which we have to work and make them accountable for their salary. Regular review mechanism, there is no option to this particular point of sales process that if you have a robust sales mechanism or a review mechanism in your organization, if you are doing little bit, you are relaxed on other sales process aspect also, your chances of succeeding are 100% high, and that is my guarantee to everybody. This is a very powerful tool. And adoption of technology for sales management. So I would call for one more poll here, Mr. Vishal, as we are running short of time.
Yeah, so these are very insightful again. Thank you for your wholehearted participation, I would say. 36% of the attendees feel that, estimation and recruitment of the sales team will make a big difference if they can get an expert help. 50%, they think that an expert can do a better job, for target distribution to the sales team. 64% of the attendees think that documentation and training on roles and responsibilities is something, they need an expert help. 50% think that sales review and report design can make difference if an expert is roped in. And 64%, think that KRA KPI based performance appraisal, if it can be done one for all by an expert, it will really give them a very good push in their sales management. And 55% think that implementation of CRM solution is a key, where they can get an expert help and they can really make the things more efficient. It is very, very insightful. And let me tell you all that, Jai, is helping so many MSME owners, to overcome these challenges and to streamline their sales processes. And he is not like, a very theoretical person. He actually does everything hands-on. Like he meets the owner every week, he meets the team every week, and as per the things planned. And then wherever training is required, he gets resources to get it done. Whenever technology is required, he can identify the technology and very well help MSME owner to identify the right technology. So yes, this is something where an expert is required. Of course, it's a group of experts are required to deal with all these things. And I think there needs to be a group of people who can help an MSME owner. Most of the times MSME owners only talks to himself. He does not have someone to talk to at his own frequency, or to bounce his ideas or doubts, or maybe sometimes to validate what he thinks right and wrong. So yes, this is an expert help required, and I'm very, very glad to see that most of the attendees are opening up very well. Yeah, so Jay, let's now derive what are the action points. Of course, we are going to discuss a very live case study also. But before that, let us derive the action points. When these attendees, go back to their desk, what kind of action points they would be motivated to, take up basically. So let's look at that.
Yeah, Mr. Vishal. So first of all, see, there is one single word for this action point which you have suggested, Mr. Vishal, and I will tell you at the end of talking about this point. And that is a word which, by binding all these points like a molecule. So I'll share about that. Creation of sales process. We have seen what is the ideal sales process, or what should be the practical sales process for an organization, depending on the service or the product company you are. It will change, but having a simple sales process, and it is possible. When we talk about process, most of the people, or sometimes including me, we think that a process is a very complicated thing, and it will take more time. It will take away flexibility from my organization. This is a very common mindset which everybody thinks, that if I become a process-driven organization, I will become very rigid. I will become not flexible. My team will leave me, and all those fears we have. Especially team has all these fears that now I am not required because there is a process. So which is the wrong perception. Creation of a sales process and putting right people at the every node of that particular sales process is the job done. Feedback processing to product, very, very important. I have a complete case on this particular point. Feedback on processing for product, price, service, and response. So there are a lot of feedbacks which we are taking actively from the market, and there are a lot of feedbacks which are coming from the market or the customers voluntarily, because they are associated with our organization or are consuming our product for over a long time, and then they have a concern and they want to see a better product or service from us. Most of the time, when the company has a legacy or company has a past experience of success, they tend to overlook these feedbacks which are coming from market. Now, they tend to overlook it further when it comes from the sales team, thinking that these are the excuses. So in order to grow, in order to change the organization, and you have to have a very serious mindset on consuming the feedback, at least working on it, going to the checking the feasibility of implementing some of the suggestions and cost implications of that, and then deciding whether you want to bring changes in your product, service, or in your process, or in your people, or anything or not. But this is very important if for an owner who wants to go forward. I talked about it already, so will not repeat. Skill-based hiring versus budget-based hiring. Nobody is immune to this. Even I started when my organization a few years back in consulting domain. I did the same thing by keeping a particular set of salary that I can pay so much salary to a person who will do this kind of job. And other than that, not focusing on the skill set which will come with the person. So if we hire a trained person, an experienced person, the output that we get will surpass a lot compared to the money that you are spending on paying him a salary and incentives. So we must, become very, very alert at the time. So we have to prepare a simple job description and write skill set which is required for this particular job. You can ask your customers also that what kind of skill set are relevant to the product which I am selling, and customer can tell you best that in your sales team these skills are required, which is there or missing, and those kind of things. Creating the redundancy in system. I would add a word to here, overlapping. So we have seen cases in real life today when two people are handling same markets. So two people are handling same state. So one by one they are going, or together they are going. Two people are handling the same industry segment customers. So these are the overlaps and redundancy which we set in our own system by thinking that if a person does multiple jobs, मेरा पैसा वसूल हो जाता है. I get better value for the money which I pay as a salary. This is done in the back office most often, that one person is given so many jobs. So he is doing deliveries also, and he is doing accounting also, and those kind of things we have seen. So we don't keep redundancy in the system, as well as we don't overlap between the job profiles, and that is where the point in the sales process comes into right roles and responsibility of each and every member. Training, and important than training is empowerment. So if you want to delegate, you have to empower also. So you hire a person under you, delegate, empower, and you keep delegating and empowering more. That will practically make you free from day-to-day operation. And that entire time you can spend on expanding your business. The result which will come by practicing this will be wonderful and amusing. Already discussed. And daily, weekly, and monthly progress tracking system, a strong review system, and you can have your own checks and balances in the system wherein you can do a self-review, or you have a partner firm or a private limited firm. All the directors can sit together and discuss and review on particular parameters how the company is faring. That review has to be drilled down on the sales teams. So this is how. Now that word, Mr. Vishal, is execution. So if we want to summarize all those points into one word, that what is that word which owners have to adopt today, right now in their organization, is implementation or execution. That any idea, you go after it, implement it every day, follow up on it, and that change will definitely come in your organization.
I think it's time for the poll, last poll, and then we will discuss the case study. So just this is a poll just for your own reinforcement of this, and after that Jai will help us with an understanding of a case study, where all these fundamentals which sound so theoretical on a PowerPoint, are practically implemented. So that is one thing. And another thing, by the time you are all voting for the poll, let me tell you, United SME is for that purpose. United SME is not meant for earning money. It wants members, it wants non-members who are MSMEs, who are amazing entrepreneurs. Wherever they think they need help, we are ready to, extend help. And we have been, this is now 24th month, we have been conducting free trainings every Wednesday pertaining to very good skill-based or leadership-based kind of subjects, and hundreds of people have attended it, and we are happy that our efforts are, helping others to excel their own skill sets. And for this purpose also, in case you think that you need an expert help, we will be happy to connect you with Jai. Jai has promised us that whoever connects through United SME, he will be very, very result oriented and reasonable, in his consulting, assignment. And you can definitely do it for 6 months and see the difference. And I have seen the difference, with so many of our customers who have shared with us. So this last poll is yes, creation of sales process. Some people are going to do this. Skill-based hiring and onboarding, 13% of the people think that they will do it. 17% think that they will do regular training programs for sales team. 35%, regular reviews and corrective actions, which is their immediate action plan. And 13% close coordination between marketing and sales activities, they want to do it. So before I, give it to Jai to explain a case study for everyone's understanding and practical execution, let me again repeat that if you need any help on this, Jai is available. We will connect you with him, and you can explore how he can help you. Yeah, over to you, Jai, for the case study. It is going to be very interesting.
Yeah. So we are here discussing about a manufacturing company who is in the market for more than 25 years. They are basically in the furnishing industry and have a vast manufacturing setup in India, working on a pan-India basis through the channel. Basically, they are not a direct-to-customer company. How they are doing business is by supplying the showrooms and dealers, and in turn, dealers are selling the products to the customers. around 7 number of sales teams was there when we started consulting them, and they are trying to cater to pan-India market at that particular point of time. Now, what is the problem statement is the stagnancy in turnover and vis-a-vis increasing expenses over year after year and year after year, which is making difficult for the sustainability of the profit. Not only the profit, but also the future expansions are inhibited. The money which you want to spend on the marketing is inhibited because there is no growth and all. So we saw some of the challenges which are faced by MSME sector, and I have taken this point from there that these are the points which directly applied here, because I told in the initial beginning, I told Mr. Vishal also that we are talking about the practical things which are there in the market. So first is the owner driven sale. The company was running because of the fantastic nature of the owner, connect with the trade, and definitely they were manufacturing and supplying good quality products. Despite all that, they were not growing. Second challenge was competence level of the team. So when the team was old, and then they market after market, or one state after the two state, the area was added to them, and they were doing the sales. But competence level of the sales team was a challenge for them. Lack of accountability in work culture. It was a fantastic family-like organization, and still it is like this. But they have now it is like this with a process. So a family-like atmosphere and environment within the company, but there is no growth. So work culture was very friendly to the employees, very good. They are taking care of very nicely. In COVID, they did not cut salary of any employees, and they were trying everything. They were trying their best to make the team happy. So another problem was accountability in the system. No robust sales process. They had the sales process, but not a robust and in-depth sales process was there, and lack of robust review mechanism. So these were the practical problems which were there, and we have listed out of 8 points. 5 points are this in the challenge slide. We will show you after this. So how this was fixed? First point, starting point is owner's realization that we need external help to our problem, and we are ready to change. So whatever results they are getting today, the entire credit goes to the owners, because they realized that they need external help, and after taking external help, they had that courage to implement each and everything in their organization, and they were so committed to their own cause that I want to bring this change and I want to growth to my organization. So entire credit goes to them. But basic market research was done. So we have discussed the point of market research. Here basic market research was done. The industry is such that it has more local and unorganized players compared to the organized players. So this is the major challenge in the industry, because unorganized player can give you a very tough price competition when you are a brand who want to supply quality and you want to stick to your own ethics. So basic market research was done, and a perspective was created that what is the total market out of which how much you are doing. So this was basically an eye opener for the sales team, and then this entire concept was broken down into the territories which they were handling, and they were explained that the territory that you are handling has a potential to do so much of business vis-a-vis last 5 years you have done so much of business. So this was the first step which was taken. Then current turnover versus the market potential. So then the city-wise and geography-wise approach was taken, and it was equated. So the team which was thinking that we are the leaders in the market, then they came to realize that their actual market share was in the single digit, whereas they are not the market leaders if we consider the total market. If we consider the only the organized players, then they were the brand who were in the top 3 definitely. But the market is a market. Geographical segmentation of the market and breaking down the total market size into 10 major states. So this was done. We have seen that in the slide in the business planning point, and setting up of business plan for next 3 years. Now this is a major jolt to the sales team. So when we set up a business plan and we show them the potential which was 50% more immediately, and we showed them that they can grow 100% over the next 3 years. So they can just practically double that turnover, given the kind of expertise and quality which they were providing. And this was the jolt which the sales team was not ready to accept, and no, this kind of turnover is not possible. Okay, so what was done was first a sales process was put in the place, wherein simple market research, then the targets were set for them, and their daily routine activities were set in terms of particular set of KPIs. So earlier they were getting their salary and incentive based on the sales which they were doing. So it was broken down into two aspects. 50% of the weightage was given to sales target achievement, and 50% weightage was given to the activities which generate sales. Now, what are these activities? Is going to meet the trader regularly. So number of visits per day. Another activity is displaying your product in a better way in the market. Third activity is catalog and material available. Fourth activity is presence of brand and enhancing the brand presence at point of sale. Fifth activity is training of the staff which they have to do, because they are a mid to major product and not a boxy product. So these are the areas which were formed as the KPIs for the sales team, and then weekly review mechanism on each and every aspect was done for almost 8 to 9 months before they start getting the result. So it took around 9 months for this entire sales process to sync, wheel to rotate, and people coming in the rhythm and groove. And then also one of the area was the travel plan. So travel plan is a very important area which was focused, and which city and which area are the potential for the company, and important for the company to extract business from there. They were made to visit more often to those particular markets rather than doing scattered visit to the market as per their will. This entire system was built on a Google Sheet, and then they were reviewed on the basis of the data. So a number of visits done versus the business generated and those parameters. And the result is that they are going to the tune of 30-35% month on month this particular year, compared to the after the breaking the stagnancy of last week. So this is the case, Mr. Vishal, and I have tried to correlate with the points which we have shown in our previous slides.
Yeah, so this is the one case because of the interest of the time we could present, but there are many industries, there are many entrepreneurs who have got such help. And there is our purpose of United SMEs. We connect experts and the entrepreneurs so that they can solve their problems, they can scale up. So this is something which we do. If of course, we have stretched almost 15 minutes past our scheduled time. So in case you have any question, you can please raise your hand. Prasanna will activate your mic, and you can ask your question. In case you want to ask any question, later you can send it to convener@unitedsmes.in. And yeah, we have Maulik. You can unmute and you can please ask your question, Maulik.
See, rather, may I give a small testimonial?
Please, Maulik.
Yeah, I had a good experience to work with Mr. Desai. He's having a fantastic team. He helped me to do basic research for my product, my product pricing, and he extended his support to make a policy for sales and support. So I personally appreciate Mr. Desai helped me a lot. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Of course, this is a testimonial, but yes, I would say this is more of a testimonial because, most of the times we entrepreneurs read a lot, we come across a lot of content, and sometimes we just discount them as it is just a theoretical content, Here, Mr. Guptani, your inputs to everyone who is present here is actually validating that many a times this content, rather we don't discount it and we try to, implement it. Sometimes we are so multitask oriented, we don't have time and it is never our priority. When we have such an expert, who sticks to it and who makes sure that it happens, then we see a big difference. Thank you very much, Mr. Maulik. Thank you.
Thank you, Maulik.
Yeah, we have. Yes, Mr. Mohammed, you will have complete recording, next week. We will upload the recording on YouTube and you will have a link to the recording. Any other questions or we conclude? Yeah, I think we have already overshot the time. So let's depend on email communication for any. We have two more participants who have raised hand. Prasanna, can you please help? Yeah, Mr. Pithawa.
Yeah, first of all, thank you for such valuable session for all the MSMEs. Basically, I represent a company where we manufacture machineries. So, Jai Bhai ne jo bhi issues described here during the presentation, a few of them I have already experienced and I definitely acknowledge now, because being in the industry, I can definitely sense that these are very important points. We have tried to adopt ERP, Google spreadsheets, KRA, KPI, and so many things. But at the end, I was not completely successful, where I can say that I am happy. Second, we were not able to grow. So my one question, first, I would like to connect to him if he can help me professionally to get these services. Second, simple question is that every day I'm spending 8 to 10 hours in my industry. So I know it much better than anybody else, right? So can anybody, one example, some consultant can help really to get these things sorted out? Because I also, tried my hands with few consultants, but the experience was not good. So I just want to know, because end of the day, every day I'm spending so much time, still I'm not able to clearing it out. So somebody who is not from this industry at all will be able to solve. This is my question.
Yeah, so Jay, I take liberty to answer this question. So Nimish bhai, isme I'll tell you every morning what happens with me. मैं जब morning में newspaper पढ़ के when I leave the newspaper 5 मिनट के बाद मुझे मेरे चश्मे नहीं मिलते हैं. I have reading glasses, so मुझे नहीं मिलते हैं. फिर मैं बहुत ढूंढता हूँ, मुझे मिलता ही नहीं है. फिर मैं someone in the family किसी को बोलता हूँ कि यार मेरे reading glasses कहीं से दिख रहा है आपको, तो उनको तुरंत मिल जाते हैं. मतलब उसका पॉइंट ये है कि जब हम वी आर वेरी मच इनसाइड द सिस्टम ना, समटाइम्स वी लूज आवर ऑब्जर्वेशन सेंसेस मेनी अ टाइम्स. तो हमको ऐसा लगता है कि ऐसा ही होता है, ऐसा ही चलता है, राइट? व्हेन यू हैव समबडी हु इज कंप्लीटली अननोन, then he would critically look at it, and then he would stick to it. So I think yes, your problem is universal. We as a SME, we are poorly delegated people. Let me tell you, we are all SMEs, so we are poorly delegated people. So we want to and of course sometimes we don't get delegation worthy people because we are SMEs, and most of the times talent does not want to work with us. So at that time, if we are not getting talent on full-time basis, we should get talent on part-time basis. So that is how this consultancy concept works. You have tried so many consultants. I agree with them, and with due respect to all of them who have attempted to service you. In my opinion, what you should do is you should also have a KRA and KPI for your consultant. Consultant is someone who is helping you. Okay. So I'll give you an example. Like at Sinnershop, we have in-house digital marketing team. Okay. But we have hired a consultant, who was a CMO of a security company. Not because we don't trust our digital marketing team, but we want, that perspective. Let's say if I want to go from my level to another level, I need to hire someone who has already been there at that particular level, तो हम लोग क्या करते हैं, जैसे वी हैव हायर्ड सच अ कंसल्टेंट, एंड उनका भी KRA KPI बनाया कि डिजिटल मार्केटिंग करना है तो लिंक्डइन में मुझे इतने फॉलोअर्स चाहिए, जेन्युइन ऑर्गेनिक की बात कर रहा हूँ, पैसा खर्चा करके नहीं. मुझे इतने इंप्रेशंस चाहिए, मुझे इतने एंगेजमेंट्स चाहिए, मुझे. तो ये सब हम KRA KPI अगर कंसल्टेंट के साथ करते हैं So sometimes consultants also, take it as a challenge, sometimes, see, they are all achievers, जो consultancy करते हैं उनके पास बहुत experience होता है, they are very kind of result oriented people. So I think you should have KRA and KPI very well written in your consultancy contract, and I think we will connect you with Jay Desai for the further discussions, and if you can get connected, it would be a very good use of this United SMEs platform.
Can I say something, Mr. Vishal?
Oh, please.
Yeah. Mr. Nimesh, I mentioned about that particular word which is called execution or implementation.
True.
So that is the heart of whatever we do, I mean, in consulting. Our way of consulting is participative, and we spend very little time with the owner to understand your products and company, market, customers and all. Larger time we spend is with your team. Now, execution and implementation is such a thing that it is not a tool or it is not a technique. Execution is the culture. So if your company's culture is implementation oriented, more action oriented, you are bound to grow. Your growth cannot be stopped by anybody. And to change this, it requires time, but more importantly, it requires a lot of commitment from all the members of the company, and the results are coming. So, and once we understand your customer, what is required by them and the market, then we can help. Another thing is, we know the power of the process, and many a times I shared in the previous slide, there are a lot of inputs which are coming to you, may be discounted because you are in the industry day in and day out, and you will tend to think that this thing will not work. When a consultant comes, we make you do certain things which you had ruled out, but now you try and then you succeed. Those kind of scenarios. Otherwise, this forum is very small for explaining it. It is a very time-taking process, basically.
Yeah, I'm just taking one question from Mr. Mohammed. Yes, I agree with you. He wants to know something more about the concept of United SME. So, see, I'll tell you, Sinnersoft as a product which is targeted to MSMEs, and it has grown exponentially in last 15 years. We are among top 100 MSMEs of India as per government of India. So we want to reciprocate towards the MSME as a fraternity, and that is how we are funding these United SMEs with no expectations of earning money. We are not charging anything on United SME. What we are doing as an MSME, our requirements are same, as a large enterprise. But many a times we don't have access to talent. Many a times we don't have affordability, for that kind of things, So what we do is at United SME, we hire the resources at junior level. We have experienced people on board like Jay and many others. And then, everyone can share those resources on kind of time and value. Okay. So instead of paying for a full-time resource or paying for a full-time, a full-time activity, you only claim that, and that is available. So that is something for United SME. Another thing what United SME has done is it negotiates on behalf of its own United SME members. So let's say there are products which are useful for every industry, and most of the times, because a single MSME is not able to buy it in quantity, it doesn't get discount. So United SME actually negotiates. I'll give you an example. Like McAfee is a very renowned and very well approved kind of antivirus or security solution. Normally, it is available at 1,500 rupees per user per year. For United SME, we have negotiated it to just 400 rupees. So that saves costs. And because there are so many people on the platform, the company which is providing that service, kind of McAfee or someone else, takes us seriously. Sometimes what happens, I have a large customer, I will respond to their queries and I will prioritize to them for the service, and I will not really take the same sort of priority for my small customers. So when small customers get together, it becomes large customer, and then they get all negotiated prices. So this is a concept of United SME. You can look at the website. We don't charge anything. Whatever we are charging is a cost sharing. You just have to cost share, and that is almost 70% of the saving for all the SME members. Base of United SME is in Ahmedabad. Of course, every office of Synersoft is available for all activities of United SME. We have around 13, 14 offices in India, in other places also. So yes, all offices of Synersoft are gladly hosting anything which United SME is doing. We are funding it fully, actually. Okay, I think we are already gone past. Let's connect again together. We will be coming up with another webinar next month, and we will look forward to see you all. And whoever wants to connect with Jay, you can connect with Prasanna, who is a convener of United SME, who will help us all. Yeah, closing remarks. Any closing remarks, Jay?
No, my closing remarks is only one word, Mr. Vishal, which is execution. So I request all the participants to focus on, even if somebody has hired a consultant and got some inputs, go back today to your offices and think about execution. Bring one thing to execution and you will succeed, and my wishes are there with you. And I want to wish happy Diwali to everybody in very much advance, in fact. And thank you, United SME and Mr. Vishal, for having me here.
Yeah, thank you very much for so insightful inputs, and I think we are all motivated on the execution part. And it is like coming out of watching film Dabang, and we cannot do what Salman Khan was doing, but yes, in this particular session we found so many things which I think we can do, and we should try. So that's the difference. Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you all for attendance. Thank you.